look at Floyd. Like Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like there's all these lawsuits. Like he hasn't been paying things and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he got to be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money. He got to show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that, like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like $3 million. There's watches that are $3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car.
When the conversation turned to Floyd Mayweather's massive real estate holdings, Joe Rogan didn't hold back. He shared his doubts, breaking down the numbers and implying that something about them just didn't add up.
And one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed. Like this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes. But when I'll show you, when I'll show up, I bring out the big boy and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like $5 million. And so you hate him.
And that Floyd owes like $1.4 million in jewelry debts, that Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment. His private jet fuel, he's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a $54 million loan from an individual, from a billionaire that had a 9% interest.
Joe Rogan pushed further, challenging the larger narrative about Floyd Mayweather, especially the assertions that he owns dozens of multi-million-dollar properties. Rogan pointed out the difference between flashy boasts of riches and having concrete evidence of ownership.
IRS, how much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this. He makes so much money. There's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right.
You know,
I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
Here's where things get interesting. Floyd Mayweather built his Money Mayweather image on the idea of endless wealth, stacks of cash, luxury watches, and a life of pure extravagance. To outsiders, his fortune seems limitless. Yet beneath all the glamour, insiders suggest that the truth about his finances could be far more complicated than the flashy persona he presents.
Because he's the best in the history of pay-per-view at making sure that the money ends up in his pocket. He is, or has been, a businessman as an athlete that almost doesn't have a peer because he owns all his own stuff as an independent. Your spending has to be so fiscally irresponsible to lose the amount of money that Floyd Mayweather has lost that it is almost beyond anything that is reason. It's not merely fiscal insanity. It's something that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. And another sign of him maybe in financial trouble is, as of February 2026, Floyd Mayweather has initiated a massive $340 million lawsuit against Showtime Networks and former executive Steven Espinoza. So he's trying to get some bread right now.
The estimate is that he made over $1.2 billion over the course of...
According to Business Insider, 2 of Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s commercial properties have reportedly faced foreclosure problems. Rumors also suggest that a building tied to his Las Vegas strip club could be at risk of seizure over unpaid property taxes, intensifying the controversy. Legal disputes have emerged concerning alleged unpaid bills for luxury watches and high-end jewelry, claims that Floyd has firmly denied. When you connect all the dots, the spotlight shifts from flashy displays of wealth to serious questions about the real condition of his finances.
In this article were insane, that Floyd owes like $1.4 million in jewelry debts, that Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment. His private jet fuel, he's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a 54.
Business reports also revealed that 2 Trump International Hotel Las Vegas condos linked to Floyd were briefly seized over unpaid taxes, only to be returned once the debts were settled. Additionally, there's talk of a $54 million loan supposedly secured by his homes, private jet, and business ventures. Whether these stories are exaggerated or misinterpreted, the contrast between Floyd's flashy money image and these financial reports has sparked endless debate. Joe Rogan's earlier doubts had already made the public question the narrative, and then Chael Sonnen stepped in, cutting through the hype and bluntly asking why anyone is acting surprised by the "is Floyd broke" chatter.
Wait, is Floyd Mayweather? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy who grew up in a boxing gym, right? It's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. You didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things?
He immediately flips the question back to the audience, asking, if you get up and work every week because you need money, why should it be any different for a boxer? Hearing Chael Sonnen deliver, it is pure heat, part honesty, part provocation, and all blunt truth. But he doesn't stop there. He tackles the myth of massive boxing paydays, exposing that the billion-dollar earnings and sky-high pay-per-view figures often come from press releases rather than verified financial records, noting that no one from the companies handling the pay-per-views has confirmed those jaw-dropping numbers. In doing so, he essentially drops a bomb on years of hype and inflated boxing narratives.
Me mama's all over the... What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question. But it's the fact that they're attempting to tease him. I mean, first off, they're asking the question. Look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who?
Chael Sonnen isn't just going after Floyd Mayweather. He's calling out the whole circus of how sports finances get hyped and twisted. He dives into the chaos of contract juggling, pointing out that Floyd announcing multiple fights, along with the rumored Tyson matchup, would throw any promoter into complete panic. In boxing, timing and exclusivity aren't just important, they're the lifeblood of the sport. The irony is hard to miss. Floyd has openly criticized Showtime for shady business tactics, yet now he's creating the very kind of chaos he once condemned.
The numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And yeah, of course Floyd's broke. Would you be boxing if you weren't? And it's very tough to be.
Meanwhile, as critics slam Floyd Mayweather's promotion for causing similar chaos with Logan Paul, the whole story starts to feel like a hall of mirrors, everyone pointing fingers at someone else. But here's the ironic twist Chael Sonnen reveals without even trying. You can question Floyd's finances, doubt the massive paydays, argue over contract mix-ups, or joke about exhibition fights. Yet the moment Floyd Mayweather's name appears on a fight poster, the entire combat sports world freezes, watches, and shines the spotlight on him. It's proof that no amount of controversy can ever dim his magnetism.
Just to clear that up, no he doesn't. Will Logan ever get the money? I think Floyd's broke. Floyd does not owe Logan $1.3 million. Floyd's promotion owes Logan $1.3 million. And now, of course he's not going to get it. That promotion's already shut down.
Chael Sonnen had already sparked the "is Floyd broke" debate, but then Jason Whitlock and his panel jumped in, and suddenly we were deep in full-on financial detective mode. I half expected spreadsheets with boxing gloves. Whitlock started by breaking down Shannon Sharpe and the panel's theory. Floyd's return from retirement is all about chasing one massive payday. When names like Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, and Terence Crawford come up, the business plan becomes crystal clear. These are the only fights capable of delivering the mega money Floyd is targeting, the ultimate A-list superfight lineup. Then Whitlock throws in a casual, thoughtful nod, asking why we fight, and just like that, the discussion shifts from cold, hard cash to philosophy in the most entertaining way imaginable.
On their podcast, that Floyd Mayweather is talking about coming back, unretiring.
He is.
Because he's broke.
Yeah.
Let's play the clip here of Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco.
There are only 3 fights that Floyd can have that can command and get the kind of money he's looking to recoup for money that may have been lost, or money that may have been stolen, or money he may have spent, to date. For one, a rematch with Canelo. That's one fight.
Canelo too big.
Listen to me, Unc. We talk about making...
Floyd Mayweather shaped his entire persona around the idea that wealth equals success, transforming from the charming young fighter into the legendary money brand. Jason Whitlock points out the sharp irony. When your identity revolves around riches, even the smallest financial hiccup becomes headline news. Dre adds a grounded viewpoint, saying, the real question isn't what Floyd made. It's what we don't know about his liquidity, assets, debts, taxes, and lifestyle. Essentially, the hidden financial iceberg lurking beneath all the flashy Instagram posts. Meanwhile, the panel tosses in jokes about busted gamblers, IRS troubles, and over-the-top spending, the usual circus. Here's the twist. While half the panel debates the sense of a fighter nearing 50 stepping back into the ring, the other half quietly acknowledges what every fight fan already knows. If Floyd Mayweather actually schedules a showdown with Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, or Manny Pacquiao, no debate or speculation will stop the world from tuning in when that bell rings.
This is, of all the idiots that we've seen out there, celebrities, actors, entertainers that have lost a lot of money, this guy would take the cake. To blow a bill before he even hits 50 is unimaginable. It actually is sad. It's a cautionary tale. We have seen it time and time again. But who actually wants to watch this guy fight? Like, people that love him. If he comes out and what if he loses and looks terrible and gets destroyed? Well, look, if you love him or hate him, you can say, well, he's nearly 50 years old.
Jason Whitlock and his panel had already turned Floyd's comeback saga into a full-blown financial courtroom drama. Then Andre Ward jumps in, and the conversation shifts from hot take speculation to a genuine fighter's perspective, a contrast that hits hard. Ward starts by highlighting the respect he's always had for Floyd Mayweather's work ethic, something that's easy to appreciate but often buried beneath all the flashy headlines. He reminds everyone that while the glamour, luxury cars, private jets, and high-rolling lifestyle define the Mayweather brand, underneath it all was a relentless gym rat who never skipped a day of training. When Ward admits feeling conflicted about this comeback, the honesty is striking. He isn't throwing punches at Floyd like the rumor mill. He's speaking to something deeper. Boxing isn't just a sport, it's an identity. The adrenaline, the spotlight, the jaw-dropping fight night paydays, it's a high ordinary life can't touch.
Been filthy rich, he's made his name, his legacy, and a lot of his reputation wasn't just the boxing, it was the money. It's the money man. What I have, what I'm driving, what I'm living in, what I'm flying in. And a lot of people, they don't like that. I don't know if Floyd Mayweather had more supporters for most of his fights or more haters. But regardless of where you fall on that line, Floyd Mayweather made it work for him when many people, promoters included.
That's the kind of perspective only a former champion can provide. Then Ward shifts to the possibility of a Pacquiao rematch, and suddenly the analyst in him kicks back in. He makes a sharp point. Older fighters can often generate more action because they can't rely on non-stop movement like they once did. Less footwork usually means more exchanges, challenging the tired idea that these fights would be boring. Yet Ward keeps returning to the real risk, age itself. Your mind still thinks you're the same fighter, while your body quietly disagrees. That single truth explains countless heartbreaks in boxing. Still, even as Ward admits he'd rather see both legends retired, relaxing on a sunny beach somewhere, he can't resist the draw of curiosity. When two icons with unfinished business step back into the ring, the fight world stops and watches, whether we want it to or not.
Over and over and over, and he has to process, can he do anything with me? how does my skill set line up with his? Can I beat him? The problem with being 49 years of age is sometimes your brain can see things and tell you things that your body's not in agreement with. That's the problem with age. Your brain is still saying, I'm him. Your brain is still saying, man, I'm Money Mayweather. Man, these youngsters can't deal with me. But your body is saying, brother, we don't